I think the hard part is that how do we let God take control, right? When Jesus take my wheel, right? Can you handle it?
Hey guys, it's Dominic. Welcome back to Boba Bread and Chat. Here, we build meaningful connections and relationships with God through our conversations while sipping on boba and eating our favorite snacks. So, grab your favorite drink and snacks as we dive into today's conversation. Welcome guys to Boba Bread and Chat. We're so happy to have you guys here. Before we get started, would you guys like to introduce yourself and what is something you like to do on a relaxing day?
Well, my name is Ray. I'm the pastor here at Westwood. Just something I like to do is go out and eat because I live and work in the same city. So I like to go further outside my little city of living, right, so to speak.
Awesome. Yeah. What was your go-to place, like your go-to restaurant you always go to?
One of my go-to restaurants is Memory Corner in Richmond.
Oh, yeah. Okay, nice.
Hello, I'm Rebecca 啦。咁 for relaxation, I like to play music, listen to music, and I 跑步啦，同埋踩單車。Yeah.
Nice. Well, and you play a lot of instruments, I remember, right? Like, what's your go-to instrument?
我最中意係彈琴嘅，因為 it truly helped me to express myself and get me in a relaxed mode.
Nice. Awesome. I'll answer that too. I like something I relax. I think I like to, mostly it's like combination. I like to cook. I like to, play music. I think that's really helped me to relax. And especially like if it's like a busy day, I usually just do some of those stuff or, just listen to music as well. Okay. So before we get into our conversation today, we're going to pop our boba together. So yeah, let's do that right now. So let's get our cup. Okay, ready? Okay. You gotta shake the beer.
You're an expert.
Yeah. Okay, on the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nice. Okay, cheers. Cheers. Nice. Ooh. It's really refreshing, especially we're gonna have a long conversation today. Okay, so today's topic is and talk about relaxation, right? How do we relax or like what are ways do we relax? But we also want to tie it in, as Christians, we know about the Sabbath, what is the true meaning of Sabbath, especially in our modern day times, how do we interpret the Sabbath? From our, previous episodes, we put questions in a bowl and what we're going to do, each person's going to take one question out and they're going to read the question out loud and then we're going to all answer together and and would you like us want to go first?
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Okay. Is there a difference between rest and relaxation? How do you approach these two ideas in your life?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
兩樣嘢咧都係要you kind of need to put an effort to get to that state. 咁你有啲嘢要可能 you gotta go outside. 其實我覺得係好似 kind of some activities that help you to reset your tempo, the tempo of your life. 咁即係我通常都係一個好緊張嘅人啦，即係我個 tempo 係好 upbeat 嘅。咁所以咧要我去 set 翻好慢嘅 tempo 咧係唔容易嘅。咁但係 rest 咧is like a complete stillness sort of states. 盡量係唔做任何嘢嘅，咁或者嗰樣嘢咧係sorry, this is like the last question. Sorry， 呢個係講晒所有嘅之前嘅。OK，rest 咧係I gotta put an effort 喺嗰度啦，然後唔係淨係靜止咁簡單咧，即係 it's not like a sloth， 你就攤喺度睇電視或者咩都唔做 ，but it's more like 你要 refocus， 你劈開你好 focus 嘅嘢。Something that's in your control, you gotta put that away and put your focus back to God. 等神去 drive 你，去嗰個時間咧係由神去操控，咁你先可以靜止嘅時候咧，你就可以聽到神嘅聲音，或者你可以 kind of finally reflect yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
Well, for me, I wasn't gonna go to like God like right away, but like since she did, well, I think if you want to look into the biblical context of rest, is you can't really escape Genesis 2, right? When God created the world, and then on the seventh day He rested, right? But we need to kind of take into if you read like a little bit more carefully, He rested from creating. Right, so He created for 6 days, but that was His like quote unquote job, right? So if my job is pastoring, then like I would 6 days I would do my job, and on the seventh day I would do something totally different from my job, right? One of my resting is sometimes I like to watch movies, because movies is for me is not to I'm not a movie critic or anything like that. I just love watching movies. But I can empty my mind, you know what I mean? I can just like my mind, and then I can just focus on a movie. For relaxation, yeah, I do agree with Rebecca that it's a state of mind or a state of being, right? For some reason, no, it could be just me, all right? For some reason, I feel that relaxation has a feeling that you let your guard down, like you let your walls down, right? So if you think of yourself as a castle, for some reason you would open up your gates, and whatever comes in, right? So it can be good thing, it can be bad thing, but it's to a point. It's for me. It's resting to a point where there's no sense of defense, so to speak. But that's just me, though. That's how I view this word. But yeah, that's the gist of what rest and relaxation for me is.
Yeah, thanks, sir. I think another thing is that like relaxation is also kind of like when we're too relaxed and we're too like focused on like just relaxing, it sometimes get into the tendency of like laziness, because like when we're so relaxed it feels like I don't want to do anything else. I just want to sit in this couch and sit in this position and just watch something. And I feel like sometimes that's like it's hard, right? And it's definitely difficult. So we have to make sure that yes, we can be relaxed and we can have rest, but like we don't want to let those overconquer, our work and our state. Yeah. Why don't we go to the next question? Pastor Ray, you want to?
Do I get a drum roll?
Drum roll?
Yeah. How does rest contribute to your spiritual growth? This is actually a very funny question for me. Because supposedly what I do is supposed spiritual, right? Yeah. So how do I separate that from my rest? You get what I mean? As a pastor, what I do, is meet people, sit at a desk, writing a sermon, whatever it is supposedly spiritual, right? But how do I take myself outside of that context and rest, right? And then for me, I need to take myself out of my area physically. For example, like I need to go further out. Whether it be a different city or you go to nature walk, then I can really kind of relax my mind and find rest in God and have that spiritual connection, so to speak, right?
Yeah. And to me, kind of like what Pastor Ray has mentioned, 一個 letting your guard down. 我覺得係一個 submission， 即係因為成日 I'm like taking the steering wheel is 一個 step to let him take the wheel, and that process requires a lot of time， 即係要好難，即係我唔可以你咁 upbeat， 我成日都 hold 住所有嘅嘢，我亦 in control， 但你一 drop 去到個 let God control everything 咧，其實唔可以即刻咁樣噶嘛，所以我都好中意嘅。之前Pastor 偉峰咧都會同我做 spiritual growing 嘅 devotion 咧，佢就會點起一個 candle，let it sit for 5 minutes，咁佢就話你就乜嘢都唔好諗，唔好做，即係 try to empty your mind 就係嗰個 process。Just looking at the candlelight，咁嗰個5分鐘其實係好幫到我去就係 reset 翻，慢慢將個 guard 即係拆毀自己咯。咁呢個 process 嘅 daily，or not even daily 可能好難，一個 regular discipline 或者 habit 咧。同神呢個一齊相處時間咧，咁就可以就係一個 process of spiritual growth.
There's actually one more verse I want to share, and it's a really, I would say, well-known verse, but it's from Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 to 29. It says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." I think it's like this verse to me, it's like a reminder that no matter how difficult the situation is, we can turn to God with all our struggles. When I'm working on projects or everything's so overwhelming at times, like I just gotta take myself out of that situation and let myself be really still with God and allowing myself to like have that conversation with God that, you know, I can't do this alone.
I think the hard part is that how do we let God take control, right? When you know, Jesus take my wheel, right? Carry on to it. Letting go, saying Jesus take the wheel is so hard.
係啊，好難嘅 ，especially the very first step is like 扭一個樽蓋，你頭嗰下係好難。Once you open it，你一去到咧，其實跟住就會好容易咯。但係覺得第一步係極之難，因為you need to have some like dedication and effort， 同埋係一個都係 kind of like 衝出你嘅 comfort zone 嘅 action。
Yeah, no. I think bottom line, to summarize it up, it's hard to let go. It's so hard to let go. Like, yeah, for sure. We're going to go to our next question.
Sure.
I'm going to pick it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pick it out. Let's see what I pick up. She's excited. She's excited. Like, what questions? Okay, what's this one? I think it's the question that we all want. How do you reinterpret the concept of Sabbath in your lifestyle? Yeah. I give it first. I think I don't want to give it too much of a history, but like for us, like Sabbath means like you mentioned earlier, you know, we work for 6 days and then, you know, 7th day is rest. And that's like how God created, you know, worked for 6 days, created in 6 days, rested on 7th day. I think it's hard for me, like, because like working in a church setting or like, you know, it's hard for me to rest because sometimes on the weekends or even like some days I have to work on the weekends. So it's hard for me to rest, to find proper rest. So I think for me, that, yeah, personally for me, it's hard for me to find that rest. I feel like it takes intentionality to like, hey, I'm not going to work on this day and like really focus on something else. But I think like when I go on Sundays like to worship, it's like, is that my Sabbath or am I, because I'm always serving or like on that time. So I think for me, I need to, like what we just talked about, I do like let go of it and really just be in that place of stillness. And I think if I had to reinterpret the concept of Sabbath lifestyle, if I had to be really honest, I think it's really intentionality to say like this day I'm not going to work. I'm going to really focus on resting my brain, resting my heart, and really refocusing that energy back onto God and really spending that time. It's easier like saying it, but doing it it's so hard. Yeah.
I think it's quite hard for us, like I can't speak very Asian, but like I think it's very hard for us as Asians because we're in a sense we're workaholics, right? And in my case, like how can I, I have a set date, like a day of the week that I'm off, right? But if someone calls me up, say, well, my boyfriend broke up with me and stuff like that, I'm like, hold up, bro, it's my day off. Call me back tomorrow, right? I can't do that, right? So I need to, for me at least, I need to find segments of the day to rest. So for example, if I have to work in the morning and I know I have to work at night, then I find the afternoon to rest, right? I think the traditional term of Sabbath being a whole day, yes, it's supposed to be a whole day. That's what God said it to be. But it's so hard these days, especially when we live in such a connected world, in a digital connected world, right? When someone messages you, and I'm not even talking about life and death crisis, right? I'm talking about like just simple things, right? And then you're like, oh, you see it, read it, and then not reply them, right? So it just feels kind of weird. That's yeah.
Yeah， 我覺得嗰個安息唔可以bind with 嗰個 technical definition，因為時勢唔同啦，咁我都唔需要去再研究呢樣嘢，但係我覺得都係咯，即係每日 set 一個 time， 你有做到呢一樣嘢，我覺得神去創造呢個安息日咧，其實係一個好 brilliant design 嚟嘅，係佢知道我哋需要嘅，因為我哋就係好似個 hamster 咁樣，你好難識得去停落嚟，咁佢就話俾你聽，你就係要 set 一段時間去安息，去睇翻佢做嘅 creation 啦。其實係好正嘅，即係佢個設計。咁喺呢個安息裏邊咧，你就會去識得感恩啦，回顧啦，睇神佢做咗啲乜嘢啦，即係就算去感恩咧，我覺得都係要真係要休息你先做到噶嘛，即係如果唔係又會變得好 shallow 咁樣，即係譬如我每一晚都會同小朋友祈禱，都會講感謝神咁得，但係即係你小朋友可能得咯，但係你大個人咁大個人咧都係咁樣咧，就好唔 deep 咧，咁其實你好難去繼續同神去有個好 close 嘅 abide with God 嘅 journey 咯，係啊，咁所以我覺得係咯，都要 back to 即係有一個 self discipline 去 set 一個 time， 每一日我即係要俾啲 effort 去做，去 appreciate 神設計呢樣嘢嘅好處咯，係啊。
No, for sure. And I think like in our today's culture, I think like you mentioned, like sometimes as we get older, sometimes it's harder to be thankful to God or just thankful in general of like the things that happen in our life, right? Because like sometimes it's hard to see past like, oh, what can I be thankful for today, right? And I feel like that could be hard sometimes. I really appreciate you guys for sharing. And, I want to thank, as we wrap up, I want to thank Ray and Rebecca for joining us on this beautiful conversation on rest. If you guys want to hear more of our podcast, make sure to follow us on our social media pages at lighthousemedia.wac, as well as our church's Instagram page at westwood.alliance.church. Until next time, stay bubbly and God bless. Bye, guys.